This is episode 3 of Give Me a Chance, and it is your host who's speaking, Vittoria. Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Give Me a Chance. It is never too much to say thank you to all of you who have watched and listened to the last 2 episodes of Give Me a Chance. And many thanks for your messages and suggestions and tips. And I'm listening to all of them, I'm studying them all, and I'm really grateful for each one of them. But now, let us go a little bit deeper into the episode of today. Because if you probably listened to the past 2 episodes, you probably noticed that they were about changing your career path and making a switch, and therefore having a chance to change your life. Well, the episode of today is about something different. It's about love and loss, and how experiencing that in your life might give you the chance to make a change. Well, I don't know anybody who can tell it better than our guest for today, Larry. So let me introduce him to you. Hi, Larry. Welcome to Give Me a Chance.
Hi, Victoria. Good
Hi.
to see you today. I am looking forward to our conversation.
I'm so glad that you could join me tonight, or this morning in your case, due to the
Morning
time.
San Diego time, or just about 12 noon. Yeah, lunchtime.
And here it's 9 o'clock in the evening, so yeah, you can really feel the difference in time zones.
We are a global world.
Can you tell us something more about yourself? A little bit of an introduction of you.
Yeah, Victoria, I will. Number one, thanks for letting me be on your show. I'm very honored that I have the opportunity to talk with you and your listeners. My name is Larry Indiviglia. If you could say it that way, or you could say it Larry Indiviglia. It is Italiano, so you could say it either way. I am an author. I am a life and business coach. I have been a fitness professional, coach and trainer for over 32 years. I am also a father. I have 2 grown children, Joe and Lauren. I'm also a grandfather. I have Luca Indiviglia, who just turned 1 year old. So I have a little bit of a family. I was married for 25 years. That marriage ended in divorce, sadly. And I do love to tell stories through books. One of the ones that I just finished and launched on October 6th is 126 Days, 11 Minutes, Our Love Story, which is a true story. And it was from a story about life experience.
And I think that brings us actually to the fact that you had a chance in your life to learn something new.
Well, beginning in January of 2020, the new year, new decade, I met a woman online dating site. Her name was Gayle, and she was also looking for a man. And the story of 126 days and 11 minutes is a love story, is how we got to know each other and love each other. It's a true story. And against all odds, at our ages, I was 64, Gayle was 68, we fell madly in love. We had a very captivating, real, honest relationship. We loved each other deeply. We had fun. We had joy. We had adventure. We were very positive. And the thing about it that was unique, Gayle was battling stage 4 breast cancer and had been for 4 years. She showed great courage to embrace life, and she wanted to meet somebody just like I did.
And as you said, it was a great love story. What attracted you to each other in the beginning?
We learned from each other unconditional love, that you have to first unconditionally love yourself first before you can unconditionally love somebody else without conditions, expectations, judgments. And Gayle was battling cancer. I knew that. She was honest. She embraced life and love. And I learned the importance of truth, to always have core values and to stand in your truth. Each day is what we have, rather than looking too far down the road or too far back. And finally, that you can die, I learned from Gayle, at peace with your truth, with dignity, and finally finding some level of peace before you transition. Yeah.
Those are really major points that you have learned in a really short period of time, because 4 months is not much, but you really lived very intensely together. But what did that do with you, with Larry? Were you scared when you were faced with such an uncertainty of sharing your time with somebody that was struggling?
I didn't think Gayle was going to die as quick as it turned out. And she felt she was going to beat cancer through traditional means and holistic and alternative therapies. She did. She did. And I was captivated by her. I was captivated by her beauty and her courage. And I wanted to discover more about this woman because I felt I was going to learn more about myself. And hopefully she would learn more about herself.
The first 2 months that you were together, out of the 4 months, those were the most energetic ones, in which she could really go out and enjoy life together with you outside. And then when she realized that she was getting sick, unfortunately, and she realized that she needed to get help, what did that period mean for you?
The author Nicholas Sparks said, the greater the love, the greater the tragedy. I always look at the greater, I say it differently, the greater the loss, the greater the gain. So even though my time with Gayle was limited, there was happiness when she was healthier, and then there was sadness when she took ill again, but that's part of life. So I learned something from both sides, that life is possible with joy, even with cancer, and life is possible even while dying, okay? Even when somebody's on the last stages of life. But it's a different lesson we learn. And in our societies too, Victoria, now, sometimes we're afraid to look at the end.
And if you reflect on the very last stages of her transition, if you want to call it so, what is the most important thing that stuck to you of that period?
I think faith is important. Okay, to me, I happen to be a Christian. Faith is important. I believe God has a plan for each of us. So he had a plan for me to be at Gayle's bedside. I was supposed to be there. Okay, Gayle was receiving a lot of care from me and the other caregivers in that hospice, but she was also giving on how she died, the courage that she showed, the truth that she held on to through the end. She died with dignity and strength. And yes, there was sad times emotionally and mentally, and then somehow being able to find peace. So I learned a lot about that, about finding peace and how you don't need to do it alone, how people will come in to your lives to help you. I learned about pure angelic caregiving and pure love in how they tended to the sick and the dying and made them feel special, and also the fragility of life.
Larry, as you say, this major learning moment that you went through, this difficult period, they were really intensified by the fact that you were supported by other people. But then came a moment in which you were alone. Gayle was not there anymore, and you had to elaborate on your loss. What helped you in the process of getting through that, and in the months that came after the death of Gayle?
Yeah. I chose to journal a lot through my time with Gayle, through the good times and also the hospice times. I think I need to get it out rather than to hold it in. And writing became, the book became the catharsis. Okay, I felt to honor her life, and then all the lessons I learned from her, because there were many, and to share that to many people who might be struggling. And Gayle's life made a difference, and I wanted it to make, more of a difference. So the writing helped me heal. So that's I think that whole grief thing, where through the writing and through taking myself out and not shelling back in, because that sometimes could come out later in life, and I think it's important to find an outlet. Writing was for me.
Yeah, and Larry, I think this is a beautiful gesture what you did, putting your story and Gayle's story in a book and writing about it so that her memory could stay longer. And this is a way also, as we talked about before, to combine your skills with writing. How did you go about that? Because it's such a personal and intimate thing you want to write about.
Yeah, Victoria, some people, can be afraid to put yourself out there, because I had my moments. I share them in the book, my challenges. Also, I share in the book. Gayle had written 3 photography books. She was a professional photographer, also a tango dancer for 33 years based in Los Angeles. She had great photos, nature photos, models, everything. Argentine tango. She wrote 3 big coffee table photography books. But she told me, it was about the 51st day I knew her, Larry, I think I can help a lot of people in what I've gone through with cancer. And she had this vision of the title of the book, My Enlightened Journey, Loving, Dancing, and Living with Stage 4 Breast Cancer. And she never got a chance to write that book. So I remembered that, and I said, well, this was one of her professional photographs of tango dancing that I put on the cover. So she became a part of the book, okay, through her photographic art, which is the cover of the book. So I felt that all those things, you know, I was able to process that and then go about writing that way. Don't be afraid to risk to love. Sometimes people say, oh, it's risky to go out and put yourself out there and be vulnerable, like I've said. But it's more risky not to, because you will miss out on a special experience.
And such an intense period with her, would you say that she gave you the chance to understand what unconditional love is?
She did. It helped me to also look in the mirror to make sure I was unconditionally loving myself first, okay? And to make sure I was checked in with that. And even though Gayle was limited in some things she can do because of her cancer and health situation, she could do a lot. And I received a lot from Gayle.
Is there something more that we should know about your book?
You know how it ends because you'll know that in the beginning. Yeah. However, you don't know how it ends. And there's twists, there's turns, and it's a true story. There's nothing in it made up. But you'll find that even though it's a true story, there's lessons that are shared in some ways as if it was a fictional story. I think they will get insights to Gayle, a very special woman, and all different type of insights, which she was a poet. She shared poems with me. She shared pictures with me, her photography pictures. She shared her friends with me. She shared her life experiences. She was a colorful woman. I think people will really learn a lot about powerful choices in life and how to be consistent, to really follow your truth in everything you say and everything you do and everything you touch, which is what Gayle did. I don't want to say it's a roller coaster ride. It's not just about the last stage. It's not just about the first stage. It's a book about life, and love's a part of that. Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's a beautiful legacy for Gayle to leave behind, and it's a beautiful gesture, as I said, what you're doing. So, Larry, many thanks for sharing your story with us and for sharing the insights of your book. And where can we find it?
Again, just the quick cover: 126 days, 11 minutes. Our love story by Larry and Davila, and it's on Amazon.com. Paperback version or Kindle. I think you'll find it an inspiring read and one that really shares the life of a special woman who found, in being humble, a special man that recognized her specialness, and we created a special love story together.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being with us.
Victoria, my pleasure. My best of luck in all you're doing and your wonderful work on your podcasts.
This was Larry's story. Meeting Gayle and spending with her 4 intense months before passing meant to him understanding what unconditional love is about. And that was his chance to change his life. Experiencing this love was for him also the chance to put on paper their story together and use his talent as a writer. It is now time to round up this episode. Have you ever had the chance to change your life, or do you know anybody who has? Please, as said before, get in touch with us and leave a comment here below if you want to. And if you liked this episode and the previous ones, do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. thank you for watching and being with us today, and see you next time. Give me a chance on your screen and in your ears.